Hey everyone, this is Monkey from the Busy Adults podcast. In this episode, we have a guest, affectionately known as The Frenchman. So, gather around a campfire and take a short rest while you listen to this insanity.
Welcome, adventurers, to tonight's episode of Busy Adults. We have a special guest tonight joining us, our good buddy, The Frenchman.
Hi.
He waves as people can see him.
It was purely for me. You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But before we get started, I think maybe we should hand it on over to our guest. We'll refer to him as the Frenchman. I don't know. Maybe hit us up with your nerd cred.
My nerd cred?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've never written it down because I like having a girlfriend. So,
Well, you have a wife now,
as I
so it
was
doesn't
just
matter.
thinking earlier today, so
Correct.
because I don't know if you're aware of this, but 2020 was Mario's 35th anniversary. Funny that we were talking about Mario again somehow. I didn't realize Mario is 1 year older than me, and I'm like, this guy, what have I done in my life? No,
Compared to him.
but my nerd core basically begins and ends with video games, as that's my life. But I've dabbled in many other nerd type things, including D&D, role playing. Never really full on LARPing or anything like that. But let's just say I've hit some people with some foam swords before. So we'll go there. But yeah.
Is that LARPing, cosplay, or roleplay? Which one is it?
Or all of the above. I don't know.
Why not both?
The trifecta?
Right? So, video games, science fiction, comic books, Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy. That's all. That's my jams. So that's where I come, and I'm the grownest man-child in the realm.
You were just showing us all your toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike, some people, I did not decide to procreate for the main reason of that I didn't want to share with another person that would inevitably try to take
That's
it
fair.
from me. And I said, no, thank you.
There is no try. They will
Exactly.
take it from you. I'm certain.
And so I cut that off at the source. I said, no. There's enough people on this planet. And I don't like most of them. So,
Yeah, you barely like us.
well, that's not true. I mean, aside, you guys are great. Aw. I said the name too.
It's all good. We'll just beep it out.
Well, that's fine.
We
Aw,
edit it.
man.
Don't worry.
We got-
I
Don't
have
worry.
come to terms that I'm a prick. And I fully embraced
You
it.
are.
I think that's like on your business card, right? Like,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
like you're legally required to hand that out upon meeting a new person, so they're not like totally taken aback.
Yup.
Now I need.
How you like have to tell someone you're a sex offender when you move into the neighborhood? Like you have to go around and be like,
Yeah. Oh, that's what I should
Not a
do. I
sex
should
offender,
put
but I'm a-
little small like disclaimer.
I'm not
Oh,
a sex
yeah,
offender, but I'm a
I'm a sex
huge asshole. So
Right.
I mean, do with that you will. The kids are fine. I hate them, but no more than normal amount.
Right.
But
That's right.
yeah, I mean, to circle that back around, my nerd thread is that I'm older than most of you, and I've steeped my life in nerd stuff and experience. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Great to hear. You'll fit in
Oh,
just
God.
fine.
Good.
that's
That's
right.
what she said.
Step one complete.
I mean, the Frenchman and his wife both are anti-Michigan fans, and yet they live in Ann Arbor. So
Right, that's the
Yeah.
fucked up part.
First of all,
It's like
Like-
Crips living in blood territory, bro.
that's first of all, I guess that's classic Michigan attitude, though. To think that if you're not a fan, you're automatically an enemy. Like that's Michigan.
Well, you are.
It's like there's no possibility that I just don't care about Michigan. Like,
Your more little brother, Lori's the enemy. She's a
it's
Buckeye
never
fan.
crossed a Michigan fan's idea that anyone could possibly just be like, "Who cares about Michigan?"
No.
Nope.
That's
Exactly.
impossible.
Sorry.
If university is
Either you
as
bleed
large
blue
as
or
your
you're an enemy.
house, that no one can go to anyway, so
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah. Drake over there is living in the void along with Yakha. So
You are.
it's
You're
kinda
both
nice.
little moons, just like in the night sky.
I can only see Yakka's body. Drake is just like
Yep.
a head.
Wearing a black t-shirt.
I'm like that angry moon from like Zelda or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, from Ocarina
No,
of
buddy,
Time.
Majora's
for sure.
Mask. You nerd square.
Oh, is it? Oh
The
man.
Frenchman has been on for
Damn.
5 minutes and is already dropping the nerd card.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Yep.
to come on your own
He
podcast
is.
and cancel you like that. Oh,
He's just
It's fine.
He's just
I honestly,
establishing
I
nerd
played
cred.
a whole lot of Legend of
that's
Zelda.
why I'm not invited to
I have not.
podcasts. I just come in and
You
be
played-
like, well, actually.
you've played more Zelda than I have.
That's true. No, Legend of Zelda games. Link to the Past was probably my number one back in the day. Then, it was, oh god, Twilight Princess. That's what it was. Twilight Princess. And that's the last one I really truly played. I had Breath of the Wild, but I haven't really touched it.
Link to the Past would be my OG. Super Nintendo, I mean, because
Yeah.
of my age, I'm almost as old as the Nintendo. So I grew up with it, but I wasn't old enough to really like get into gaming until like the Super Nintendo.
Oh no, I started when I was
So-
4.
Link to the Past will always be
Started
my
when I was
number
4.
one Zelda game for that reason.
Oh man, but anyway, guys, back to the actual podcast. Yeah, we're just gonna do kind of a discussion type thing with our guest here, and we're gonna talk about some stuff that has dropped and yada yada.
Yeah,
So,
today,
take it away.
in real time, February 23rd, we just learned about the new source book from Dungeons and Dragons, the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
Oh my god.
yeah, so we're all pretty excited about it. I think. I know. I
Yeah,
should.
for
for
sure.
sure.
Dark Sun. Why is it a dark sun?
Yeah, all you bitches complaining about that, and oh, I can't believe it's another Ravenloft setting. Screw off. Nobody cares about you.
It's classic.
Dang.
It's classic.
Wow,
Like, how
he's
can you-
taking
it's
my
like-
niche.
That's like saying you shouldn't have a classic like fantasy campaign anyway. What you have some classic fantasy settings, you know, like high fantasy, your traditional like we got elves and we got dwarves and we got, you know, magic and wizards and dragons and whatnot. And then you got the other side, a gothic fantasy that's just as classic. You know, werewolves.
Yep.
You know, vampires, witches, full moons, spooky bats. Oh,
Two moons.
two moons sometimes, depending on how much you drink.
That's right.
Depending on how much a
That's
dwarf fools you.
Yeah,
You don't know how often two moons comes up to this day. Like four
it
four
really
years
does.
later, we're still talking about two moons.
if I've ever had a legacy,
We are.
I'm glad it's that.
We created something
It's
special
2
right
months.
there.
I was just telling Ray earlier that I haven't played since then. Really, like it's sad, right? Like
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a bit starved for some tabletop gaming, just because I don't really like. You guys know, we moved out here in the boonies, and like, I'm not moving here and then making new friends. So it's like, at my age, the friends I got are the friends I got. So
Well, we play plenty of
yeah, I'm gonna have to
campaigns.
try to like
So
weasel my way in there, as one Frenchman does. Like a
Trust me,
secret-
it's real easy. You got to be like, "Hey, I'm free on Friday evenings," and I'd be like, "I roll character done."
it's as easy as
say,
that.
oh, here I go.
But Ravenloft.
That's right. It's Ravenloft. Yeah, so I think it originally was just a leak. I don't know if Wizards of the Coast have confirmed it yet, but it's on like everything, like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, just all of the major retailers.
This is 5th edition, right?
So, yeah, 5th edition.
I haven't
Yep.
played any 5th edition. I mean, I hear you guys talk about it. Like, I barely played
It's honestly-
4th edition. Like, I played 4th edition a handful of times, if that.
They simplified 5th edition quite a bit to make it easier for
Don't
people
they
to
say that
get
every
into.
time, though.
And-
Like,
Well, yeah, but they did. They really did. Like, my wife can get into it pretty easily now. She can make a character by herself for the most part. I just have to double check.
just have to double check.
Making sure all the
But yeah, so they really did. They made it easy.
You
They
get
made
like
it
the red
easier,
pin
I would
out when
say
you're double
easy.
checking your work, and you're like, wrong.
No, I just
Just
ripped it
rip it
apart. Try again.
Oh,
Terrible.
jeez.
Try again.
Savage.
I mean, I think I can extensively say that it is for sure easier. I had 4 brand new, never played tabletop, half of them never even seen Lord of the Rings, pick up
Oh,
D&D 5e and was able to play it. Like,
I'd say like every version of D&D is subsequently easier than the previous, though. Like, you guys never
Yeah.
played 2nd edition or before, I'm assuming, because you guys are young. Have you,
No.
Draken Rider?
I
He
played
has,
second.
he has, yeah.
See, now that was what I consider stupidly complex.
Oh yeah. Here, add this. Now subtract THACO. Now
Add and
we're dice
subtract.
rolling.
Here's ever heard of THACO? You want
That's what I said. Like
THACO?
THACO. Like, hey, add this stuff up. That's your THACO. Now roll a d20. Subtract that.
No
You gotta
sense.
be.
They were clearly, we know they were high when they made it because it was created in the 70s
Yeah.
by a couple of guys who are like the Ben and Jerry's of fantasy role playing, and they were probably token it big time when they wrote 1st and 2nd edition. And you can tell because you're like, what the hell is this?
G-Man. We're like, what the shit?
So I mean, yeah, 3rd
Yep.
edition is pretty much like where I lived most of my young adult life, and then I sprinkled a little 4th. But no, I haven't played any 5ths. But I'd like to try it because it sounds like it's easier, like you guys said, from what I've heard.
Well, we usually play Roll20, and Ray has every fucking book loaded in her campaigns. So it's going to be information overload, and you'll love it. Because there's so
Oh
many
my
options
gosh.
now.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know,
It's
I'm
nice.
definitely going to get this new one that's coming out. Because, duh.
Yeah, I want...
What are they? So what are they
Oh,
releasing
man.
for Ravenloft? Just like a core rule book, or are they supplemented? What?
It's a supplemental, but I think there is a small, like, adventure in it. But they do include a bunch of different, like, settings.
Wizards
almost
has put
to
it up
where you
on
can
their
create your
webpage,
own.
so it's legit. Yes,
They
it is
did.
legit.
They did what on their
Oh,
webpage?
shit.
Yes. D&D.
They put
Oh,
the
really?
book on their webpage. So, yeah, so they officially announced it. That's cool. So I'll read the description I found on Amazon. Terror stalks the nightmare realms of Ravenloft. No one knows this better than the monster scholar Rudolph Van Richten. To arm a new generation against the creatures of the night, Van Richten has compiled his correspondence and case files into this tome of eerie tales and chilling truths. So, bullet points: travel to Ravenloft's expanded domains of dread, each domain with its own unique flavor of horror, thrilling story hooks, and grisly cast of characters. So that's a bit of an adventure there. You can craft your own D&D horror settings, add tension with optional rules, and get advice for running a game that's ghastly in all the right ways. So it gives you options on how to create your own homebrew type setting with it. Create characters with lineages tied to vampires, undead, and hags. Horror-themed subclasses, the investigator background, and dark gifts that may be a double-edged sword. So, new options for players
Did
to
you
pick
mention
characters.
the two subclasses?
I'm always for that.
Okay.
Yep.
College of Spirits for bards and Undead Pact for warlocks. Yeah, it's an undead pact.
Nice. And then unleash nightmarish monsters from an expanded bestiary and browse a collection of mysterious trinkets.
It drops May 18th.
And then
Yep.
Yep. Explore Ravenloft in the included Dungeons & Dragons adventure, play as a standalone adventure, or drop into your current game for a bit of sinister fun. So it does give you a small adventure to play through. It's not like a full-on adventure supplement like Strahd, but it should be really cool. I'm excited.
Strahd. A name.
I know.
Strahd. I've always loved playing that. That was like one of the first campaigns that really like sucked me in when I was young. I started playing D&D young, like I want to say 13, 12, 11, somewhere in there. My mother and my uncle would play with like family friends. That's how I got into it. So like I would, when I was old enough to understand what they were doing, they weren't just being weirdos in the other room, you know. It was like,
I mean, they were being weirdos in the other
Well, they
room,
were
but
definitely being weirdos in the
also
other
there
room.
was a book to show you about it.
You're being weirdos, but what kind of weirdos? You know, it could have been any kind. You know. So I was like, yeah, I want in on that. So they let me play, and you know, they walked me through it.
So a small child joined two adults.
Yeah, it was. I never really thought about the weird dynamic, but it was like this kid, and like my sister wasn't into it. She was a little older than me, like she's 2 years older than me, but she wasn't into it. So it was me, and like eventually, when I got older into my teenager years, I would bring my friends into it, and like we would play with them.
Aww.
So I had my own little tag-alongs, but yeah, for a while it was just me and like these adults, and like I want to play too. Give me some dice.
And
Oh,
smack
gosh.
them like, don't
Yeah,
stick
but
them in
Frenchman.
your mouth. You could choke on these.
Roll out.
Yeah, you gotta deal with
That's
that
where all
with
the
your kids.
flavor is.
They're so colorful and shiny.
You gotta lubricate them up for a good roll.
Whoa.
Oh,
Ugh, gross.
no. I'm good. I don't need my...
I'm
never
editing
know.
that out.
We don't
Never
edit this
just go
stuff
for
out.
like
We
a
never
full
do.
spitwad roll, you know?
Just shove them in your mouth and spit them out. And
Oh yeah,
hope
it's
you got it.
real like, you know, when sometimes they don't even really roll, just kind of like splat on the table, like.
Oh, just...
That's
Just
why
sticks there.
you are the one that came up with people who invented dice trays with walls, is to hold all the spit and saliva in one spot on the table.
Basically, was the reason the rule of never sharing dice and don't touch each other's dice is because of me, because I was just like spitting on people's dice and like putting them in my nose and like drooling on it, whatever, you know.
You're disgusting.
Let's roll a d4. Bam!
It's not rocket. It's not rocket.
Right out of your nose.
Or,
Two. Oh, shit.
No, but like when you're young, and like, what's more magical than like a set of dice? Like when you're young
Right.
and you have no idea. Like I didn't even know dice came in these shapes. What is this?
Right.
Right. I'm used to
You're
the
Yahtzee.
six-sided die. What
Your
is
dice
this?
are
What?
weird. What are these?
Four.
Magical stones.
They decide whether
Yeah,
you
Ray's
live
our
or you
resident
die.
goblin.
I hear someone here likes their dice. From what I hear,
Yeah, she's a goblin.
from what I've
Straight
heard so
goblin.
far, I've heard rumors of carry-on cases for flight just full of dice to smuggle across the border.
Yep, they're all
I'm
true.
trying to get them right now.
She can't even lift them.
There's so
She's
many
got
of
like
them.
just duffel bags, just like.
Yep.
Oh,
It is honestly a shit ton. Like, I wouldn't say there's no reason, but I don't see a reason for myself.
okay.
You can shut
So-
your whore mouth.
This is
Yeah,
I
That's what
said
I'm
for
saying.
myself.
okay for
bigger than your
scale.
head.
Haven't played a full-fledged
This
It's
is
lizard.
bigger than your head.
Man.
It is bigger
It's
than
like
her
2
head.
hands wide.
Oh my!
Yeah. If you guys watch Critical Role, it's Laura
Oh, yeah.
Bailey's dice bag.
Essentially,
So it's what, like 3/4
I
of
would
the way
say
full
3/4 the way full.
Critical Role. What's that? I don't know any other D&D podcasts. So
Mama said Ray's mad because she got all them dice and know where to go and use them.
Yeah.
is that like in what is that? Water boy. She's got all them dice, nowhere to roll them. That's what Mama says. She's so angry.
Yes.
Mama's wrong.
Mama says she's so mad she got all them dice and nothing to play.
And that's why I decided to start DMing.
That's right.
I heard that
Even
someone
that.
wanted to Scrooge McDuck her dice in a vault, is what I heard. I think
That's what she wants.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
what
she
she
would
would-
love to
Yeah.
do. That's her goal.
I don't think she understands the physics of that. Much like Scrooge McDuck didn't understand the physics of that, but
The Scrooge McDuck made it
you know,
happen.
there's a power of cartoons, my friend, and that's why they tell it to your kids that you just don't emulate everything you see. Because next thing
Why
you know,
not?
you dive it into a pile of
Fly.
gold and you broke your neck because it's
I'm still trying to turn into a Super Saiyan.
Oh man, I remember doing that as a kid, looking like a total nerd.
when,
Playground.
when you were a kid, right?
Screaming.
When you were a kid.
Yesterday, he means.
Hey,
Monkey takes his
I don't have.
he takes his
time.
lunch breaks.
Whenever,
Yeah, it's me raging out over all the customers.
yeah, whenever the
So
wife and kids get him too mad, he just steps outside for a moment.
damn it! All right, now try it again later. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
So I know we were going to talk about nat 1s and 20s. I know, Drake, you probably feel a little strongly about this as a DM. How do you want to manage nat 1s and 20s when they're not attacks?
well, I know, like, the big thing is a lot of people seem to think, like, a nat 20 is automatic success. Like, oh.
Right. And I know raw, it's
And
not for skills.
people are like, oh my god, I rolled a nat 20 for, like, a persuasion, so I told the king, you're gonna hand over your kingdom that has been in your family for thousands of years. To me,
to this
yeah,
rando
to
that
some
just walked in.
rando who walked up. and rolled a
No,
nat
maybe
20.
not that, but you can at least get like a handy out of it, you know, for
And
You might get a handy
you
out
know,
of
hook
it.
a brother up with his own card of ale, you know.
but
I mean, you might even get his daughter out.
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
it's
You
just,
never know.
it's
Don't watch a clown.
If you're a bard, you get the king and the daughter out of it.
You gotta get something right for that nat 20. Leaving me hanging here.
I'm definitely a fan of, like, oh, hey, I like the Matt Mercer of, well, you can certainly try, but there's going to be some things, like, if you tell me, okay, I want to go up to the king and I want to demand he hand over his kingdom, they're like, okay, do an intimidation or persuasion, whatever you want. And if you roll that nat 1, which is what I'm hoping for,
No.
well,
You hope the
time
worst.
for you to roll a new character because
Oh, that's
this
harsh, bro.
person,
It's hard.
this king took it as you just made a claim against his life and his family, so off with your head.
I'm a fan of like the humorous critical success or failure results.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like I've never been a fan of like your entire character should hinge on this fluke roll. Like, oops, you rolled a 1, you're dead. Like
I'll agree, but if you're gonna do something,
that's
it
just
depends.
so
Like I said,
like
if you're-
the game is obviously based on dice for a lot of things, but like that kind of I feel like that is just too harsh.
if you're gonna come in and be like, I'm gonna go and do this,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. I
something
guess,
that is
yeah.
so off the wall that like.
If you got to put a player
Yeah.
in check, then yeah, you know.
Yeah, like I said, depends on the situation. Like if you're mugging some guy and it's a nat 1.
The irony
probably
of
not
this,
gonna
though,
die.
is that what other player would need to be put more in check than this guy here who says he needs to put the players in check? That guy's talking out of two sides of the same coin right there. Imagine being your
That's
DM.
why he's a player in some of these
I
campaigns.
feel bad for Ray. Imagine being your DM. Woo! Better not roll any 1s, buddy.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, he did kill a shopkeep and take his
Damn
straight.
bookstore, so straight
I'm
murdered him.
Way easy on you guys. Like I am so super easy on y'all.
I told you not
You
to
even have
be
a
easy
mean
on us.
bone
We have
body?
so
Like,
many
you guys
characters.
just
rolled
got
up.
Revivify, right?
I don't think so. If we did,
He
it's the cleric,
can
and I know we don't
cast
have
it.
it.
He hasn't chosen it yet. Like, that's the thing.
Once
that's
you
right.
have gained the option to revivify, it's gonna get a lot harder. Like, I want to give you the
told you don't hold
opportunity
back.
to play a little and, like, also be able to come back if you fuck it up. If you die,
Have you seen how many characters I've rolled up?
Sometimes you just like make a character. So you just kind of like get to there. You get to the ball. You had all your fun dressing up, being Cinderella and making your dress. And you get to the ball, and you're like, oh, now what? It sucks. And then you go and you jump in the pool and drown yourself, so you can
Yep.
start all over again. What kind of character you are, isn't it? All I'm going to do is make this and then throw it at the wall. I just don't care at this point.
Basically. That's a
Give me
creative.
back to the numbers and the rolling. That's what I want.
Give me the click clacks. No, I feel like it's, it depends on the situation. Absolutely. Like we were saying with Drake, if you're demanding the kingdom from a king and you're rolling at 1, you're dead. You're rolling at 20, you're not going to steal that kingdom from
You
him.
won't be... A nat
It's not
20
gonna
will
happen.
make it so that you're not going to get arrested. That's what a nat 20 will do in that
Well,
situation.
what kind of role prompted the ability to steal a kingdom in this scenario? Like, what's going on?
Well, you're intimidating him to hand it
It's-
over.
Why was that even an option? Like any good DM, I think, would avoid
Hey,
such ridiculous
option.
situations anyway.
You see it,
We-
though, on
we
a
do
lot
not.
of different things.
We do not.
Like, people be like, Nat 20's auto success. And it's like, to hit, yes.
Yeah.
To demand a kingdom or crazy shenanigans, no.
Gonna climb like a 100-foot
that's where-
wall, and you're a nobody on a horse, and you're just like,
Yep.
tick, 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 tick.
I think that's a trap a lot of people can fall into when it comes to D&D, because you explain D&D like you can do anything, do what you want. It's your choice. Theater of the mind, my friend. You just have these
Right.
dice and these rules. But it's like,
Yep.
you
But
can't
they
do
forget the
anything within
consequences.
reason. Like there's reason and consequence
Yeah.
that still dictates all rules
Yeah.
of man. Like, you idiot, you can't just say, I'm gonna go dive into that lake and look for treasure at the bottom of the lake. Like, that lake is 300 feet deep. I don't give a crap, rolling it 20.
I mean, if you're high enough level and you got a wizard, that's very possible.
I
You
mean,
make
yeah,
it to the
level
bottom.
20 wizard,
Let's
anything's
roll again
possible.
to see if you make it back to the top.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously magic throws another wrench into the equation, but
Right.
you got to be pretty powerful in the magic spells anyway to even get spells that are even worth it for.
But still, you got to be practical with the magic. Like, if you cast underwater breathing, obviously that lowers the difficulty of you searching the bottom of a 300-foot lake.
Listen, I saw Harry
Yeah.
Potter. You just have to turn your head into a shark. Okay,
I mean, yeah, if you want to polymorph into a
that
shark,
seems
go
like
for it. Drew.
if a school student can do it, that's like what, a level 4 spell, right? Oh, it wasn't even a full
think it's-
polymorph. It was just a head.
At that point, it's just
I mean,
minor illusion.
You got to still be able to breathe.
yeah, the illusion
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
let you.
That was the whole point. Yeah.
The illusion is, look, guys, I look like a shark.
Hey guys, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
I know there's a fine balance to dictate between being able to do whatever your imagination can think of, and then not, living within reason. Even a fantastical, magical reason, you got to have some reason, or else you're just sitting around being an asshole for your DM, like making his life hard for no reason. Like, this guy's got to run the game, got to move things forward, and you're over here trying to think of the stupidest shit you could do of the day. Like, okay,
Yep.
get over it. Unless you have like a whole group participation, that kind of thing, then obviously if that's the kind of game you're going for, then fuck it, do it.
There you go.
That's where you
You
get the
murder
fun
hobo
part.
party every time. Every time.
Every time.
Hey, my favorite meme is how I think my D&D adventure is going to go, and it shows Lord of the Rings. How it actually goes, Monty Python.
Yep. Every time.
Every fucking time.
It's only a flesh wound.
Thanks for listening to the Busy Adults Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and pretty much everywhere else on the internet. Make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to wherever you listen to Busy Adults. That's BUSYADDULTS. Now, back to the show.
I think I might have a little bit of an unpopular opinion.
Oh,
no.
gosh.
I am.
You know,
pulling
you
up
did this on the
board
last
right now.
one, so here we go.
Excuse me, Rob.
I-
Pull up the message boards.
Yep, go ahead. I'll give you a moment to pull them up. I think that a nat 20 on a saving throw should negate all damage. If you are hit by a fireball and you hit a nat 20 for your dex saving throw, I think you should take no damage. I think it's fun. I think that you should be rewarded not only for just regular, oh, you succeed, you take half damage, whatever. I think it's fun, okay? And if you hit a natural one, then you take double damage. There.
No, I actually
I mean,
agree.
there's nothing wrong with
I-
fun. You don't want to get too serious.
It's the rule
Yeah.
of
No,
cool,
I'm
guys.
cool with
It's
that.
the rule of cool.
It
As
was
long
when
as all
you
your
said,
clothes
like,
burn off, you know.
Yeah. It was.
You're just
You didn't take
It was
any
when
damage.
you were like, hey, I have an unpopular opinion. Literally after we mentioned Monty Python, and I was totally expecting to be like, Monty Python sucks. Be like, okay, last podcast you brought up Goku's a bitch. This podcast you're saying,
Absolutely not. I did not say Goku was a
You
bitch.
did.
I said
You
Superman
did.
was like Goku. That's what
and
I said.
after I had
Which
just
means
gone
Goku is a
after
bitch.
I had just gone on a rant of Superman's a
Oh.
goddamn bitch, and you're like Goku, and it's like,
We're straying outside of the realms of my nerddom when it comes to anime. I'll say that.
because I literally listened to the podcast the last 2 days.
But what I do know from what I picked up is
Yeah.
Goku's a bitch. I'm just kidding.
No, Vegeta's a bitch who cries a lot.
Yes.
Sorry.
He
Vegeta.
pouts a lot. It's pouting. That's all he does is when he realizes he can't achieve something, he pouts. Really bad.
Yeah, except when he was like crying because he couldn't become Super Saiyan.
Team 4-star. That's
Well, that
one
was a
thing they
huge
did
pout
right.
fest.
He was.
That was a huge pout fest.
How'd you go Super Saiyan? I want it.
Every day I wake up and I'm not Super Saiyan is the worst day of my life. It's basically what I'm saying.
You can tell he's an entitled prince.
The sad thing is, he's actually a king because his dad's dead.
He is, but he's a king of nothing because the
Yeah, but
planet's
he
gone.
wasn't officiated to be a king.
Doesn't
'Cause
matter.
there's no one
He's
to officiate him. Yeah, it does.
That's
So
not
he's a
how
prince
monarchy
forever?
works, you noob.
Obviously, there has to be a coronation.
Yeah. There's no
There's
ceremony.
no coronation if everybody's dead.
No ceremony.
Pomp and circumstance.
The whole planet's dead. There's only like 2 Saiyans left besides the dumbasses.
Oh,
Why
we
would you
know.
want to claim the kingdom of nothing?
I want to be called the king.
I'm going to leave that on my dad.
The dead
What's
dad?
his name? Vegeta.
No, Vegeta.
What was his planet called?
Vegeta.
What's your name?
Wait,
Vegeta.
His planet was called Vegeta, and his name was Vegeta.
Planet
No wonder I don't
Vegeta.
watch it.
King Vegeta, Planet Vegeta, and he's Vegeta.
Wait,
Yep. They got real lazy.
Don't come after Akira Toriyama like
Hey.
that.
Those are really creative
God.
monkeys.
Until
We
they
all
just
just
stopped
creative.
doing the whole monkey thing.
Because Frieza's super
Daddy
racist.
monkey this. Daddy monkey that.
Just cut off the tail, be done. Or blow up the moon, one of the
Filthy
two.
monkeys.
But no,
Yeah.
that's my unpopular opinion. Nat 20s on saving throws, it should negate all damage. Natural ones double all the damage.
I'm actually cool with that.
Which is the
I mean,
rule
yeah,
of cool.
that's really
Yep. Rule
DM's
of cool,
choice
DM.
at that moment.
There you go.
You should know your DM
Yep.
when you're going into a game. Like, if you don't know how your DM's going to handle that kind of thing, and you go in there and you roll it, and you just completely are like, "What the fuck?" You probably don't know that person very well.
That's why a session 0 is super
We have
important.
talked about this many
Yeah,
times.
but how do you
Session
ask
0.
a question like that?
What is that?
Well, it's like
No, you
yeah,
get
and
to
it's
know
like
the
house
DM.
rules type of thing. Clearly, that's my house rule. When we
Yeah.
roll characters, we roll 4d6, re-roll 1/2s. Don't drop any.
Because she
'Cause
wants
I
us
want
to be
everyone to
be
badass
overpowered.
for no reason.
But did you mention that in the rules? Or
I
no?
haven't done it in this campaign.
It's like playing a game on
Okay.
easy mode. Sometimes you just want to play on easy, you know?
Yeah, you just want to run through, wreck all the shit, get all the loot, fuck all the bitches, and win.
Hell yeah!
Except when she rolls the characters to fight us, she rolls the same.
Well, that's for her fun. You're going to deny her fun?
Right?
Well, no, I'm just saying. Easy mode just turned into nightmare.
Roll, but she could also just pick the damn numbers.
Good. You wouldn't even know. How would you even know?
Yeah,
Are you walking around these characters? No.
That's true.
She probably just like max stat, don't care. Long hair, don't care. 25 strength.
Fucking God mode.
Everybody's got
25
20.
strength. He's got one arm and a club. That's all he does. It's extra burly. All I'm going to say is you don't want to get
the orc dreidel.
The first motherfucker to get hit by this is going to find out something today.
God damn. Oh, shit. So, yeah.
Spin to win.
Definitely rule of cool. I'm alright with that.
Speaking, okay, so actually that brings me to a separate question. We'll go back to the 1 in 20 thing. DM, Drake.
Yeah.
Do you fudge dice rolls?
Oh, yeah. There's no... If you're a DM, you have to...
Okay, but do you fudge them in your favor or the party's favor?
Both.
Both.
You gotta do both.
Definitely, I've done both.
I really don't want to kill this guy today. Whoops.
Yes.
Yes, I've done that, and I've also had it before where literally I'm rolling nothing higher than a 5, and I'm like,
oh shit, I've only got 2 counters planned for today, and they're wiping this one so quick.
Right. Like, I've had some before, like, okay, the last session where you guys had to fight the Rakashas. You have no idea how many my dice could not roll anything lower than like an 18 that session.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, and we could... even if I hit a 20, the only way I could in was with a 20.
I feel like you, as a DM, have the natural inclination to go hard mode, though. Like, I think you like that. I think you...
Yeah.
We're in a dark campaign right now with him.
I think you like cranking it up for your players and being like, yeah. I'm sorry, this is the next session of Dark Souls, if you weren't aware.
Yeah,
Dark Souls, a tabletop game.
That's how he's running this new campaign.
I mean, yeah,
I get that feeling from you, having only played with you a few times.
But I also don't want to be that DM that's like, oh, hey, here's like an encounter, and you guys like never get wounded. Like, I want every encounter to be like, yeah, there's times where if my dice are being standard, like, oh, hey, here's a couple high rolls, here's a couple low rolls, and they're the ebb and flow. But there's been sessions where I don't roll below a 15, and I'm like, oh, the party's getting wrecked. And then I have other sessions where I don't roll above a 5, and I'm like, you fuckers could be level 1, and they're still not going to hit you. Like, so I'm like, oh, hey, you get hit. Sprinkle in a couple criticals to when, oh, hey, we're left and right, and, certain characters start getting cocky, and it's like, oh, okay, and then they get real cocky and be like, oh, look, nat 20. Oh, look, critical confirmed when we were playing Pathfinder. Oh, look, almost max damage, and then the person's like, oh, shit, like, oh, yeah, combat. Like, it's a two-way street for storytelling. You don't want it just to be like your heroes constantly never in danger. You want that danger to be there. So yes, dice rolls are fudged. And as long as it's not like constantly like nat 20, nat 20, nat 20.
Yeah.
Which is Drake's campaign.
that's a get grim hard mode.
He's like, how did you roll a 22?
If we're going to be real, though, we all know that's why the DM screen was invented. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
There's no other practical purpose for it except fudging them rolls, you son of a bitch, and we know.
What? I saw this one little TikTok, some video like that, and it was just like, gotta make sure you have like this many 20s, this many 6s, and blah, blah, blah. And then it says, and then of course you gotta have your 20 die, and it's just a die with all 20s. And he's like, then you gotta have your 1 die, and it's literally just a cue ball. It's just like the yellow cue ball, and it's a 1. He goes, ding.
Oh,
Oh,
You got to
God.
just for the theater. You got to have the noise coming. Like, yeah, roll it. I'm not even looking at it because it doesn't matter what it's going to say.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know what's about to happen.
It's a
I've
20.
had sessions like that. And I think with the DM, and we've touched on it before, you've got to be able to just improvise on shit.
Oh yeah,
Because
you got to
sometimes
be adaptable. That's
Flexible.
DM.
like,
Sometimes
perfectly-
your player just kills a random guy and takes his bookshop.
You know, any bane of
That
the DM
bookkeeper
is
That's
was
not going to
being
come to bite
handsy.
you back in the ass at all.
any DM bane is when they spend like an hour writing up this cool ass NPC boss, and they're just like, hell yeah, this guy's. Just wait till they get in with this guy. He's got so much cool stuff. They're gonna see some shit, and then your party just like triple criticals on him off first round, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then you're like, guess this motherfucker has 200 more hit points.
You're just like shredding the character,
Guess-
crying.
That was literally the boss of the last campaign. Like,
The Trask?
Yeah, I was wrecking
the
him.
goddess.
No, I was
Oh, yeah.
fucking
the
him up.
goddess.
That was literally like, because
Yeah,
I got
I'm doing,
everyone's
200
stats
points damage.
of like their attack bonuses, and I'm like, okay, average out. They've got to roll like a 15 or 16 or higher to hit, and some of them are only going to be able to hit on like a 19 or 20. So yeah, this is totally cool. It's gonna left and right, and it's gonna be a drawn out battle, and you fuckers like couldn't miss to save your goddamn souls, and I'm like, okay, cool. This bitch has got like 400 hit points, and at least she's got like 400 or 500 hit points, and you guys are like 50, 60 points of damage. I'm like, well, this isn't gonna last long.
Dude, the Pathfinder monk can do so much damage in one round. I had like 10, 20 attacks. I don't even remember. All of them averaging like 30
It
points
took
of
you at
damage.
least 10 minutes to count up your damage.
It really did.
It took two people's turns for you to calculate your damage
Yeah.
for that one turn.
And I had like a formula sheet all written out. Like, okay, if I do this, I add this piece too. If I do this, I add this piece. It's like a whole fucking program.
Yep.
You need to bring an Excel document with you next time.
I
Get
do.
an Excel spreadsheet. Jesus, save yourself.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I should have. Instead, I just wrote it
Make,
on the
it,
back
make,
of the
make a table. Come on.
Get them formulas going.
There's a rookie numbers. You got to put these numbers up.
Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
I mean, just
That was with flurry of blows.
I'm going to program this new line of
I
code.
had my gloves on.
How do y'all feel about the dice picker, where they'll roll the dice, it's barely shown, and they pick it up and go, "Oh, yep."
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
As a
fuck
player?
that, re-roll that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's a cool situation, but
Yeah. If it's a constant, like, they're hitting high numbers, yeah, definitely have them re-roll it, because that's bullshit. If it's onesie, twosie...
Nip
like,
it in the bud. Don't even
fine.
let that happen.
You can't pick up the dice. No.
Exactly.
You can't pick it up.
have somebody confirm.
Yeah.
Every time. For sure. Whether it's another player, DM, whatever. They have to confirm.
funny how that double standard works, huh? We're all
The thing is, I've
Yeah,
actually
but once the
in
player
person,
picks up that dice.
That's
Motherfucker, what are you doing?
I've actually done it in campaigns where I'll have people come behind the DM screen and be like, "I literally rolled
Yeah.
Yeah, you show
like
us.
3 20s
Yeah.
in a row," and they're like, "Oh!"
That's why I'm the boss. I can do this. You can't.
Be like, guys, I hope someone brought the KY because this is gonna be bad.
This is my house.
Oh,
my house.
God.
You roll dice under my roof.
Now that it's online, it's everybody's roof. Deal
Well,
with it.
I guess that's one good thing about playing online. We play on Roll20. The rolls are kind of automated. You click a button to roll. Everybody sees your roll right there on the page. You can't fudge it.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys
DM
feel
can.
about that when talking about specifically abstract the randomness of a number generator versus abstract the randomness of physics? Which
I'm not thrilled because after doing game programming, randomness is not truly random. It
with a
really
number
isn't.
generator, you mean, or with physics?
With a number generator, it is not truly random. I mean, you've got a percentage to hit all these different numbers, but it's always weighted some way.
And it pisses me off because I've spent all this money on weighted dice and I can't use them anymore.
Dang it, I just drilled new pips into this thing. It took me forever to hand paint this. Stupid COVID.
They're just little bitty thing.
Well, that's why you gotta cook. You gotta cook your dice.
You gotta cook them. That's right.
See, I like putting mine in a spoon, putting a lighter underneath it, you know?
And then taking a needle to it, putting it right in the vein.
Right in the vein.
But
best rolls, the best.
I am the dice.
Roll your eyes in the back of your head, and on the other side of your eyeballs are pips. I am the dice.
I'll agree, because there's times where we'll play Ray your campaign on Roll20, and it seems like there's some sessions where, like, you know, the roll generators like Oprah and like, you get a nat 20 and you get a nat 20 and roll at disadvantage. Everyone gets nat 20s, and it's like, how the fuck that happened? And then there's other times where it's like, no one rolls above a 5, and it's like, uh-oh.
Unless it's for something really fucking stupid, then you get that nat 20.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that to me. It's always like, oh, I need this roll to happen, and it's below a 5, and then I'm like, oh, let me just do some bullshit. Like, let me steal this candle. And it's like 19.
Well, I mean, stealing a candle ain't hard. Come on.
Right.
It's like, oh, they want to pull some shenanigans? No. They want to do something like non-menial? Oh, here's your nat 20.
You're getting metagamed by the code.
Yeah, the code is
it's
listening.
Like this motherfucker right here. Doing some stupid shit, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, can something truly be random?
Yeah.
That's man-made anyway? Can it?
No.
Can it?
No.
Impossible.
No.
Impossibly.
We have the perfect one to say it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that
It's
away
true.
from you.
It's my one thing.
He's been to Paris and everything.
My one thing, damn it.
It's my one.
Fuck.
You killed Ray. You murdered her.
I'm
She's done.
dead now. Now I want to look at my dice.
Why
I haven't seen them in a while. I miss them.
Yeah, we specifically only play Roll20 at this point. That's it. It's just straight Roll20.
You know what I do appreciate though is how with those headphones on, and your white shirt in the right angle, you just kind of look like Princess Leia to me. Like I just expect you to say, "Help me,
You scruffy looking nerf herder.
help me, you're our only hope."
You're awfully short for a stormtrooper.
What does that even mean? Like, was there like a registered height for stormtroopers? Like, did stormtroopers at the
Apparently.
academy be like, if you're not 5 meters tall, get the fuck out?
It's just like the Marines, bro.
Or they just put stilts in there. Just put stilts in the armor, and that way you're good.
You know what it
Just
really
measure
was?
for every
The
guy.
Empire was so cheap they didn't want to make different size armor, so they just made one size. And they're like, if you don't fit in it, you're too short to be a stormtrooper.
Yeah, instead you get to be an
You
Imperial
don't get
captain.
to be.
There you go.
You don't get to be choked out by Darth Vader.
I have a Star Wars question.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm sure someone can answer it. So when did the transition happen between like clone troopers and stormtroopers? Because I mean, maybe it came from that sort of like old era gone by of all of the troopers being the same height and that type of. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't
I guess
fucking
it
know.
depends on what canon you wanted to subscribe to, the old canon or the new one. But they both generally agree that over time the Emperor transitioned from the clone troopers into actual regular people, human cadets, because they didn't want aliens,
Yeah.
but mostly
When was that?
for control.
It was the time between 3 and 4.
You got to remember,
So, obviously,
Luke was born in Episode 3, and then Luke is like 18 in the
Yep.
first Star Wars, so you got a big gap there.
So, but in that
Yeah.
same sense, then it could definitely be you're pretty short for a stormtrooper, because in her parents' day or her adoptive parents' day, R.I.P. Maybe all of them were that size, and that's how they got the stigma of
It's possible. It's definitely possible. I know in Rebels is before 4. I don't know how old Luke is, but Obi-Wan's old as
Oh,
dirt.
that's rude.
So,
That's just rude.
what was that? Hey, he is. He's
Guy
old
is
as dirt.
in dirt
in
that
that
is much
show.
older than him. That's some respect.
I
for
know.
In its age.
I know. I mean, the two sons.
Well, it ain't gonna be good on the skin. You guy living in two sons and not looking like a piece of leather.
I know. But yeah, so I mean, in Rebels, they were stormtroopers like humans. They actually showed the cadet training and all that fun stuff. So it was in that time period. I know in the Ahsoka book, they still, I think, had a couple clones in the ranks, and that was it starts a year after the fall. So
Do they still subscribe to the canon though that the clone troopers degenerated after time, or that was
no, I don't.
that was like old
think
canon,
so.
but I don't know if that was kind
That
of
was
one of
old
their,
canon. I
their
don't think
hand
so.
wavy excuses of why they weren't around anymore. They're like, oh
I
well,
know.
you know, after their
They're-
expiration date, they kind of just die.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the Empire just wiped them out, honestly, because they had all these Jedi secrets and training with them and yada yada from Kamino. I'm sure they just wiped them out because in Rebels you see a lot of the old
Well, they had
clones
to put
in
in,
there, like Captain Rex and
They put in the MacGuffin,
Wolf.
because when they created
yeah.
the Clone Wars series, and you get to see how close the clones were to each other and how close they were to the Jedi, then you had the question that inevitably got raised: is why would they betray those guys? And so then they had to come up with the whole microchip in the head story.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and if you haven't watched the new last season
I haven't
of
yet.
Clone Wars, I
just-
recommend it. Highly recommend it. It closes
I
it out.
just rewatched
It
the
closes it
first
out.
6 seasons so that I can rewatch the first 3 seasons of Rebels. 'Cause I missed the last season of Rebels, and then when the season of the Clone Wars came out, I was like, man, I need to see this, but I got to watch Rebels first because I know time-wise there's going to be stuff that correlates to each other. Last season of Rebels
Yeah,
before
there's
the last season of
some.
Clone Wars.
There's some. It's not really anything
Like, I'm already in
mind-boggling
it.
crazy.
I already watched the first 6 seasons of Clone Wars. Now I'm in
Do
season
it.
1 of Rebels
Do it.
again. I just got to watch through those 4 seasons, and I can go back and watch the 7th season of Clone Wars. Okay, and then
The seventh season of Clone Wars is actually all of episode 3. Only it's Ahsoka side.
oh really?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's episode 3, but it's on
Fuck that. I don't
Ahsoka's side.
want. Okay.
It's actually really great.
So-
It's really great.
Did you watch the?
Um,
Oh my god!
So oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Of course I did. Of course, I have a fucking lightsaber right above my head.
We're always
right
on the
now.
same
I
Star
mean,
Wars
come on.
page, which is why
That's
we
right.
got so distracted on this topic. And this,
It's Ray's fault. It's always
That's
Ray's fault.
a legitimate question. No, it's not. I mean,
You
it's
did.
a question for me. It
I-
serves no
It's a
no purpose.
legitimate
On
nerd.
this.
no
It's a
nerd
legitimate
topic left
nerd
unturned.
question.
That's
That's right.
We do have.
We don't just talk about
Well, we
D&D.
do have 2 D&Ds in our name and not lightsabers. So remember that next time before you decide to discuss it.
I was trying to remember
Bitch.
that next time you guys go balls deep into the Vegeta Goku storyline. I'm sorry, Dragon Balls deep. My bad.
That's a whole episode by itself.
Dragon
Whole
Balls
episode.
deep. I smell a new podcast.
Dragon Balls deep. We dive deep into the lore of Dragon Balls.
Oh,
well, technically, the podcast it's busy adults, tabletop giant,
It's
and
nerd.
all things nerdy. That's in
Oh,
there.
well, then there we go.
Nerds. That's right. We talk about Pathfinder too, not just D&D.
Yeah.
Isn't it essentially the same thing? I mean, are we gonna split hairs here?
Kind of.
TTRPGs.
I want to split hairs.
That's like
That
saying,
sounds
let's
like
talk
a fun
about
time.
spades instead of talking about euchre. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Did we want to take a short break or a
An
short
hour
rest?
in, sure.
Guys?
An hour in.
I mean,
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about the short rest is the next podcast? How about that?
That's kind of where I'm leaning because I still got a shower and that before work.
Already been an hour. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
It has.
These
Yeah.
go by quick.
felt
They
like
do.
we just begun. We
Yeah.
just reunited.
So good.
Sorry, it just came out of me. I don't know.
God.
Like it's been building up. for a long time. Building up inside of me.
Well, I mean, we could always have you back. We can talk more D&D nerd stuff. Maybe a one shot.
I'm so down for anything and everything. Call me Caligula. I'm open for business.
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
That's a classical literary reference, kids. Look it up.
Yeah, this podcast isn't for kids. But if you're listening, thank you.
And don't tell your parents.
If you're listening,
That's right.
kids, fuck you. Go to bed.
Oh my god. No.
Oh, I mean,
No.
I was going to say,
like
tell
and
your
subscribe.
fucking parents, but
I mean, follow
we
podcast on Adults. Tell your parents to like us, please.
We can try to. I could even try to run a 10 candles or to serve her wintry hunger type one shot.
I'm fine with whatever. I'm cool with one shots.
I've never really done one shot, so I'm kind of interested. Sounds like just the kind of thing to just throw your bones at.
Throw them bones at
Throw your
him.
bones
And
in.
bones. Bones are so dry. Malnourished. My bones.
Throw some milk on
Ray's
them
just
bones.
done.
You need some action.
Digging up those bones. Dig it.
I've got a dusty, rattly Crown Royal bag somewhere full of bones. You need some polishing. You need the sweet,
I've
the
got a
sweet
crown
touch of
bag
humankind.
and
I got a whole bag for Ray here.
Oh my god.
It's supposed to
Oh,
hold
God.
3 Crown Royals. And it's just the bag.
That's the Crown Royale.
It's taller than my head.
What happened to the 3 Crown Royals?
I
They
need
got
to get more
drank.
dice.
I think talking to him, you could just guess.
Drink. Drunk.
Nice. I've
Ooh,
read
that's
that, but I don't-
beautiful.
That's massive.
Yep.
that was the one I got for my Reddit Secret Santa.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. The bag of
I got
holding. Nice.
Crown
Bag
bag.
of holding
The
for
Crown
your
Royal.
dice.
Actually, it's a bag of devouring.
That's right.
yeah. Ooh.
Oh, I thought it said holding. My bad.
There's an
I just use my pocket.
Not nearly enough.
Yeah, it is. Because you can roll them multiple times.
Why?
It's not a one-off like gasoline.
Why not just throw all 30 of them out at once and only count like
But
the 3
that's
best?
so many to count.
The 3 best.
Ooh, what's inside of there?
Reindeer. They're my Christmas dice Candace got me.
Ah.
I wish my husband got me
Looks
some
like you have a
dice.
man bun.
Uh-oh.
My
Uh-oh.
wife.
Well,
got me
maybe you
dice.
should have married a wife.
What? What?
I did live
still-
with Drake's wife for a while.
Yeah, you still got some time.
She's legend has it she still says your name in the night sometime.
Technically, I'm sure she does. Let that sink in there, Drake. She's not saying yours, she's saying mine.
Who can say who she's really talking about? Who knows?
Right?
Who knows?
Who knows
Doesn't
what's
matter.
going on
Still
over
had
there?
sex.
One can only speculate.
Doesn't matter. Had sex.
That's
It's in the
right.
back. It's in the back of your head now. The doubt will always be there.
Oh,
And on that note,
damn.
thanks for listening, gang.
Yeah, this episode got away from us, guys. We're sorry.
Oh, please. This was a fun episode.
Like the French, I come in
Yeah,
and
we hope-
just muck it up. And then
And
you
then leave.
Like, oh,
You know,
I'm
we're
done
done.
here.
We'll
Oh,
definitely have to have you back on a more structured episode.
well, it's a good thing I bought this webcam for my computer.
Because it works so well with that Mac.
How was that? Can you guys hear me all right with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Stupid Macs and their stupid quality. Whatever.
Make sure to listen to us on Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
Fuck Apple.
They're our best
Oh,
platform.
God, please.
Oh God!
That's where I listen to you nerds, but only sometimes because I'm a busy adult.
Yeah.
A Frenchman, would you recommend the
Oh
horse
my
episode?
gosh! Only if you want nightmares. With
I still have yet to listen to that.
Oh, it's so
you
good.
won't look at these two the same
It
again
is.
afterward. Look at that man over there. He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it. He wasn't even prompted to, and he wanted to. He wanted to finish the job. Sick bastard.
I like to start everything I
Sick bastard.
finish everything I start.
And you'll only know what we're talking about if you go back and listen to the episode. Make sure to listen to our episode, The One Shot, Whoops, You're a Horse, and see what happens.
Oh, it's so great, and I hope you don't actually like horses.
Well, or really do like.
No. Really like horses.
Really like horses.
There's a Venn diagram somewhere.
People really like horses. Don't like horses. Monkey.
Yeah, monkey.
Monkey.
That's right. Horses and monkeys. Horses and monkeys. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening. Oh, God. Join us for the next one. I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a good time.
Thank
This is
you.
the part where you can play that funky music.
Deuces, people.
Bye.
Hey, it's Monkey again. Thank you for listening to the Busy Adults Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe for more of our latest content. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and have a great day.